Hi everybody, it's Pollo Del Mar in San Francisco, and I'm here with RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7 star, Trixie Mattel.
I'm so happy to be here. I practiced that all night.
You have been the center of a tremendous campaign from your fans across the world, really.
Yes.
To bring you back after an early elimination.
It's called Justice for Jasmine, and it's a whole campaign on Twitter. No, Twitter, when I got eliminated, I was like so sad, and I woke up woke up the next morning to like Justice for Trixie trending on Twitter. It was insane, and people were tweeting Ru constantly. And you think people are gonna be disappointed in you, but instead people were more disappointed in the system of that episode, versus me. So it was so nice.
Now, looking back on it, watching it on television, of course, what did you think about the lip sync between you?
Well, I, Trixie Mattel, while watching it, loved my performance. Blondie's my all-time favorite band. I've been lip syncing that song since I was maybe like 5. All-time favorite band. And I think we all have different skills in drag, and I think mine is definitely performing. And I went into the lip sync 1,000% sure I was going to win it. And after watching it, I just still wasn't convinced. But that's me. Okay. But Ru sees different things in different people.
I have to say that one of the things I absolutely loved the most about you was the fact that it's a moment, it's a bonding moment. It is a moment. Is the fact that, first and foremost, when you walked on the runway, I could absolutely tell exactly who the hell you are. These other girls sort of just blend together.
I mean, I kind of go for it. I just go like all the way to whatever I want. And I'm more conceptual as far as like, if it's a bearded runway, I'm not going to wear a gown and a beard. Ginger. But I'm going to wear, why does your character have a beard? What's conceptually going on? Or if it's a runway that's like nude illusion, resort wear, I'm like, well, what am I doing at a resort? I'm not just in a flowy beach thing. I want to be, like tennis Barbie or something, I just believe in the story of the look. The look should tell its story.
It's like 7 episodes in or something, and there's some of these girls when they walk on the runway, I still can't tell them apart.
Well, I think this season we have some similar aesthetics. Like, I think Violet, Fame, Pearl all kind of have this young, thin, beautiful, and they throw back to like old Hollywood, kind of like vintage this, that, corsets and stuff. And then
that seemed to be very the look, by the way, this year. Even Max, all that.
And Max, we have
Greta
4
Garbo
girls
style hair.
Yeah, 4 girls who look like they might have stepped out of an old Hollywood movie, and I think that's just what is right now in that drag. I mean, and those are 4 queens who arguably, if had to place them, are like maybe more look specialists. I don't want to say look queens because they do other things, but they specialize in these amazing looks. And I mean, they all look so great at it too. I'm not even mad because they all look good.
Maybe you have a different perspective, but it feels like these girls came onto the show, and one of the reasons they look so similar is because they only have the aesthetics that they've seen for 6 previous seasons of Drag Race really as their influence of drag.
Well, we're at the age where, myself included, since you've basically been doing drag, you've been watching Drag Race.
Of course.
A lot of us have been wanting to do Drag Race since we even got in drag the first time. So I think that we're looking at people who maybe were exposed to similar influences, and that's what they're giving back right now.
So what is your aesthetic influence?
I like to look like I don't even care about looking human. I like to look like I'm from like Fraggle Rock,
Okay.
I don't even like to look like a person or a man or a woman. I like to look more like just a toy. Like a children's toy, like you float in the pool. Like I always say, it's like a Stepford mom I always wanted and a Barbie doll I never had. I wanted a better family when I was younger, and I wanted to play with girl toys, and she's kind of a product of that.
Now, I told you off camera that you are the only queen I've ever appeared on film with who I never had to think in the back of my head, do you think I'm contouring too harshly?
You will look, anybody who stands next to me in drag, you will look like a biological female who stepped out of the shower. And I will look like, a sock puppet. I always say I look like a jizz sock that you put wiggly eyes on and use as a puppet.
A jizz sock?
Yeah, a jizz sock when you're jack off and you come in your sock. It's a jizz sock.
I kind of knew what that meant, but
yes.
How graphic.
I remember I was in college. I didn't have towels, but I had a sock. And then in the morning, your sock's dry. You just flip it inside out, put it in your shoe. YOLO.
Well, that is a sex tip from Trixie Mattel, y'all.
From Trixie Mattel. Thank you.
So, all right.
I love your name, by the way. Chicken of the Sea.
For those of you who don't know what the hell it means, that's exactly what it means. And that includes all the Latinos out there who are still trying to figure it out.
Pollo Del Mar, which is Italian for abundance.
of breasts.
Yes. And foolishness, yes.
Yes, foolishness. Lots of foolishness.
Yes.
So, can we let the cat out of the bag?
Yeah.
You're back.
I am! We're watching this, we're filming this right now, and it's Drag Race just happened, and I came back this episode. Did you see it yet?
I have not seen it, but by the time this goes up on the internet, we'll have all watched it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you'll agree with me, this challenge was probably the coolest. I think it's the coolest challenge in a long time. I think it's the coolest challenge of this season. I think it's one of the coolest challenges of past seasons. I mean, it's out, right? Every eliminated queen comes back and we do conjoined twin runway. That's fucked up. Like, the people who lip synced had the lip sync attached to a person.
That is sickening.
Yeah. It was like, I mean, spoiler alert. It was Ginger and Sasha, you know, and they're conjoined at the breasts. And Ginger plus Sasha, that's like 3 people. You know, that's a lot of people lip syncing. But I mean, it's so good because, I mean, I love fucking stupid. I just love an idiot garbage pail kid. And they are literally conjoined twins lip syncing to I Think We're Alone Now. I mean, come on. That was some shit. It was so good.
That's brilliant.
I can't wait for you to see it. This is the best episode. It's so good.
Did you actually go home?
Yeah, I went home for 8 days. In Drag Race Land, it was 8 days.
Wow. So, I mean, the funniest thing is, like, that was kind of like a blessing, probably. You got to go home, see your family, and come back home rejuvenated, or no?
I mean, I got to go home, immediately fuck my boyfriend. I got to go to my favorite restaurant, watch Netflix. Like, that's great. However, I didn't get to do the Despies, which is get on stage and read the other queens and win challenges. Like, I mean, I could have killed that. That's all I do is make fun of them now.
Right.
And then Snatch Game is such a privilege to be a part of, and I didn't get to do it. But if you go
I saw your video!
Yeah. If you go to my
God,
YouTube channel, Trixie Mattel, I have a Snatch Game as Anne Frank and a Snatch Game as RuPaul.
Now, okay, let's talk about that Anne Frank one.
Okay.
Have you... She said...
Trans Frank.
Okay. Has there been backlash?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like I'm gonna, like, get on there and talk about people burning and, like, you know, but I literally... did Anne Frank just like an idiot. I just shushed people. My phone rings. It's Nagila Hava. You know, I take a selfie as Anne Frank. It's so stupid. The question is like, slutty somebody so slutty that a 10-inch, and I said Schneidelwitz, which is like a kid's word for like a dick. Kids say it. It's just stupid. It's not even offensive. And you know what? She's an she's a jewel. Somebody told me she's a literary jewel. I was like, a hidden jewel. Hidden gem. I feel like people are like, this is offensive. I'm gonna get in this conversation and say, that's offensive. But like, if you read Anne Frank's diary, one of the things she says is what the world needs more of is comedy. And she talks about staying lighthearted through hard things.
Right.
Which is kind of what my whole persona came from. So I just believe in that.
Now,
I love Jewish guys, so like, obviously not.
Hello, she likes cut men.
And wait, Jewish is uncircumcised.
Are they?
Right? Yeah.
I thought Latinos and black guys, which I like.
It depends how poor they are, because the mom has to pay for it when they're born.
Oh.
Because it costs money, it's not free.
Are you saying that Jews are cheap?
No, I'm saying like, I mean, I'm dirt poor, I don't know how I got circumcised. I'm from the country that was probably just like a...
Pinky shears.
Literally.
Does it have like a jagged edge?
Like my mom came out with a little axe and we put it on like a...
I almost completely lost my train of thought talking. It's very difficult to talk to her with a straight face.
Because of my makeup, I look like I'm sitting on a lap and there's a guy's hand up my back. Like, you know, people tell me my cheeks. They say I look like the Canadians from South Park, where the head splits in half because of my cheeks.
Did you know when you went home that you were going to be coming back?
They called me the day after at the airport and said you're going to be coming back in about 8 days to film something. They didn't say what it was.
Okay.
And they told us sometimes people come back to film extra interviews or like. They need you to come in and do like another confessional, but I knew. I knew I was coming back, but
knew.
I thought it's not going to be easy. It's going to be some kind of competition or some garbage. And then when I got to the hotel room, because they told us to bring back all our drag, all of our looks, excluding like 3 looks. You didn't have to bring back Snatch Game. You didn't have to bring your leather and lace look. So like, you didn't have to bring your stuff that they used. So I'm counting episodes in my head. I'm like, there's 7 left, 7 eliminated at this point. It's going to be something like that. And then we get to the hotel and they're like, oh yeah, you're going to film tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And then they go, tomorrow you're getting in a van with the other 6 eliminated queens. And I'm like, fuck this. Because it's one thing to just break my dreams. It's another thing to bring me back and then not stay. You know what I mean? That's fucked. And I mean, you didn't see the episode yet, but it's like I walk into the workroom and I get, luckily, my partner was Pearl, who I loved. It was like serendipity. Is that fate?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was that. And it was fate. Because Pearl and I had to lip sync, and we're such good friends. And then we got joined together to compete. And so it was perfect. And I was just like, Pearl, we can't, because the challenge, you didn't know. The challenge was, if you're the winner of the challenge, their eliminated queen partner that they worked with gets to stay.
Okay.
And I was with Pearl and we won the challenge. So, I got to stay. But it was so stressful because Pearl's like, she's weary. She's been in Drag Race for fucking 3 weeks by then. And I'm like, girl, buck up, because if we're safe, I'm going home. We need to win the challenge. We need to win. And we won.
It was so emotional and so touching watching the two of you after your lip sync. You were both like legitimately like loving each other and heartbroken.
Yeah, when you go to Drag Race, don't have friends and don't have enemies because you will lip sync against either one of them. Like episode 1, Candy was like, "You're old," and then lip synced against the person she said was old. Jasmine and Kennedy, friends. Me and Pearl, friends. It's fucked, but it's an amazing experience.
Is it now? Tell me. Is it rigged that way, or is it just by chance?
I don't know. I think it's perception. I think that episode 4, for example, was a moment where audiences felt like, for the first time, they weren't watching a competition. They were watching something scripted. I think that's the problem people had with that elimination in episode 4, is they were like, this isn't supported. You're just doing this. And we invest time in watching this show. It needs to be like a believable competition. In that episode, for example, I think people were like, this is fake, why am I watching?
As a viewer, despite the fact that your friend Pearl, you and Pearl are quite close, like, watching her, I've begun to ask, like, well, if you tell her every episode she's sleepwalking or that she's underperforming, why is she continuing to stay?
It was literally like, Pearl, wake up, Pearl, this is your final warning. And then she lip syncs and stayed. And it was like, Trixie Mattel, your green runway was beautiful, and you wrote an amazing parody for your challenge. I'm sorry, my dear, you're up for elimination. And then it was like, I lip synced, and whatever. Honestly, it's been more fun to leave and come back, because I've gotten fans a little more like, being the most controversial elimination in Drag Race history, so many more people tuned into Trixie and saw what I was doing in the past few weeks. So it's kind of worked out in my favor. Because Drag Race is a platform, winning is secondary. The search is for the next drag superstar, and I'll just say this, from past seasons, the next drag superstar they find isn't always the one who has the crown on their head.
That is so true.
Alaska, a Detox, neither of them won from their season. Alyssa Edwards, Willem got disqualified.
Hello, right?
So it's a platform you can use. Winning, great. Let's win if we can. But in the meantime, find your fans. That's what it's about. That's why you do Drag Race.
Oh my god, you have become so wildly popular too. Like, maybe in ways that I don't think you might have.
I didn't think it was. Well, I thought going into it, I was like, I came home from filming and I was like, I'm fucked. People are gonna hate my look. They are not gonna think I'm funny. They're gonna think that I look stupid. And instead, it was like when the announcements came out, people were like, I'm so lucky. There's almost all positivity. Like, the negativity was so little.
From the
sure,
beginning,
people
you were
say I
like,
have brown teeth, but
you have what?
Oh, but people would be like, they'll like accidentally read you in your pictures, like, I love this lipstick on you. Your teeth look less yellow. And you're like, thank you.
Oh my god. The last thing I was going to ask you, because of how different your look is, and the way you stand out from all past seasons, you are going to create the same kind of explosion, this is my prediction, that in new performers who emulate it, that Sharon did.
I mean, with Drag Race, remember Raven?
How
many people started looking like Raven after Raven? I mean, she's legendary.
Yeah.
I see it a lot now. I see people with the full-on Trixie makeup. And the Trixie makeup's fun because you don't have to be cute. You don't have to use your real features. You literally erase the human being and paint on a Muppet. I mean, it's great.
Well, everybody, this is Pollo Del Mar. I'm with Trixie Mattel. What a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait for you to watch this episode because this is the shit. This episode is so good.
By now, you guys have all watched it. Watch it again. And remember, she's your new favorite. Season 7.
Yeah, and somebody told me today that I cry. So, watch me cry.
I look forward to it.
Yes.